Hi class, this is part of post-lab, and today I'm going to discuss the remaining part of our lab. Okay, so um, these are actually gram-negative bacteria, and these are cyanobacteria. So these are not algae, so they are not algae. These are gram-negative bacteria. So cyanobacteria or blue-green algae are gram-negative bacteria. So um, there are 5 types of cyanobacteria that have been identified as toxin producers. And we have, of course, here Anabaina, Apinizomenon, Microcystis, and Nodularia. Okay, so including 2 strains here in Anabaina Flossacque, Flossacque. Okay, so um, so these are toxin toxin producers. So therefore, they are harmful for us. Okay, and take note, cyanobacterial toxins, they can be classified as toxin affecting our liver, so hepatotoxin, toxin affecting the neurons or neurotoxin, and of course you have the lipopolysaccharide or the endotoxins of gram-negative bacteria. Okay, and another thing, of course, uh, usually pag nainom nyo or we consume contaminated drinking water by cyanobacteria, surely we develop intestinal problem like gastroenteritis, diarrhea, etc. Okay. So, usually pag madumi yung water, like merong river or lake or yung beach, kapag maraming algal bloom, it could be cyanobacteria. So therefore, you need to avoid swimming pag maduming water. Otherwise, pag nainom nyo yung tubig, pwede kayong yun nga, pwedeng sumakit yung inyong stomach. Okay. So, yeah. So, pag yung water ay contaminated ng microbes like cyanobacteria or other microbes, we could remove it or sterilize the water by, of course, we have micro filtration. Okay, yung membrane filter. Okay. So the membrane filter is separating water and other component dun sa mga bacteria, yeah, and suspended particles. And as you can see, medyo nakapasok pa rin yung viruses. Ayan, macromolecules, proteins, and yung mga ions. So we have another type of filtration, ultrafiltration, then nanofiltration, and of course reverse osmosis. Surely pag bumibili kayo ng water, minsan nilalagay nila if it undergo ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, or reverse osmosis. Of course, yung mga bottled water na nag-undergo ng reverse osmosis, um, medyo mahal. Okay. So, um, ito yung example nung cyanobacteria. Of course, we have outer membrane and we have the peptidoglycan layer. Though I told you gram-negative sila. So, meron pa rin thin layer of peptidoglycan layer. And between the outer membrane and peptidoglycan layer, there's also a periplasmic space. And of course, you have also the plasma membrane. And another important thing, we have this structure, the thylakoid. Um, so, ito yung parang endomembrane nila. And the important thing about thylakoid, nandito yung mga important pigment for photosynthesis. Okay. So, anong difference ng cyanobacteria with chloroplast? So, take note, yung chloroplast, uh, almost similar siya with cyanobacteria. That's why we have this endosymbiotic theory na yung may cyanobacteria na engulf ng isang malaking cell and later on it become chloroplast. So, like the chloroplast, ito yung photosynthetic uh, organelle ng plant cell and it contains of course itong thylakoid. Okay? And the thylakoid, sabi ko nga sa inyo, it contains yung mga pigment important for photosynthesis and of course sa stroma or part ng mga pigment na yun or kung saan naka-house yung mga pigment, you have the photosystem. Narinig nyo na to sa botany class nyo, like photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. So same with cyanobacteria, they also have photosystem 2 and photosystem 1 dun sa kanilang thylakoid. Okay? So therefore, cyanobacteria, same as ng chloroplast, nag-undergo ng photosynthesis process. Okay. And because they are photosynthetic, pag nag-culture tayo ng cyanobacteria in the lab, of course, we need light source para mabuhay sila. Okay? And on plate, ganito yung itsura nila. Of course, usually green sila to blue-green in color. Okay. And iba-iba rin yung morphology ng cyanobacteria. Sometimes they can develop this uh, uh, lamellated sheet and then inside the vegetative cells. And they also have this sometimes hair-like itong filament na to. We call it trichomes. Okay. And yung filament form, pwede silang branch and unbranched form. Itong necridium, napansin nyo medyo kakaiba siya compare sa other part ng trichome. Medyo mukhang malaki siya. So, ibig sabihin namatay lang yung cell. So, these are made of all dead, uh, dead bacterial cells. Okay? And, yeah. So, ganito yung tsura ng trichome. So, filament and then trichome or row of cells and then sometimes covered into ng layer of mucilage or mucilaginous sheet and sometimes iba-iba yung color ng sheet. Could be red, blue, or yellow and brown. So red if it's acidic, blue basic, and yellow brown with high um, salt content. Okay, so sometimes nagde-develop din sila ng other um, structure, heterosis, mm, and this heterosis is important for nitrogen fixation. Okay, so later explain ko bakit medyo kakaiba tong heterosis. Okay. So another thing, minsan yung trichome or yung filament, trichome filament, um, homozygous siya. So it means similar yung cell nila, undifferentiated. Okay. Minsan heterozygous. Okay. Like ito. So meron siyang vegetative cell and meron din siyang heterosis. Okay. So pag magkaiba yung cells or differentiated yung cells, uh, heterozygous yun. Hetero, het, heterozygous, sorry. Heterozygous. And etong cell na to, tinatawag nating heterosis. Again, na-mention ko na to, cyanotoxins. And another example, so itong limbia, okay. So again, toxin siya. I mean, cyanobacteria to, nagpo-produce ng toxins. And itong limbia toxin, lipophilic to, pwedeng pumasok sa skin, then puntang muscle or bloodstream nyo. So that's why kapag madaming tubig or maraming parang lumot, wag nang maligo. Okay? So, pero I'm not sure if Lingga ay marami din sa Pilipinas or hindi. Medyo hindi ako sure. Okay. Or kung may Lingga sa Pilipinas. Okay, so these are examples. We have Gleyocapsa. So, Gleyocapsa, meron siyang eto, capsule. Okay, so that's why yung pangalan niya, Capsa, Gleo, Gloya, like gelatinous capsule. Okay, so meron siyang gelatinous sheet, and these are cyanobacteria. Nostoc also, and again, yung nostoc, meron siyang heterosis. Okay, so itong vegetative cell ng nostoc, these are actually photosynthetic, and heterosis is for nitrogen fixation. Bakit nag-develop sila ng cell for nitrogen fixation? So usually, yung mga enzyme needed for nitrogen fixation is nade-deactivate sila ng oxygen. So that's why medyo special nung cell na to kasi ito nagproduce sila ng oxygen, ito for nitrogen fixation. So to avoid yung inhibition ng oxygen dun sa enzyme important for nitrogen fixation. And another example na mention ko na to, like oscillatoria and anapina also. And here, meron din tayong heteroxis.